G'day guys, Simon here, Simon Cigar and Spirits, tuning in from my lounge here in Sydney. As always, I've got two of my fine brothers here, gentlemen from South Australia and Melbourne. And guys, welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
Mikey.
Thanks for having us, son.
Always a pleasure, guys. I chat with you guys frequently. Friday and Saturday nights, we're very fortunate with that Brotherhood, and we get to catch up and chat quite regularly, so it's always a pleasure. And now we're doing this for the YouTube show, so thank you so much, guys, for taking the time out and jumping on with me. And here we go. So guys, I've sent through some sticks to you guys. Just wanted to see if you got them well.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Absolutely welcome, guys. And what are we going with? I think Mike is already
Mike is already
jumped the gun, mate.
Well, I want to try the Anejo, although I've sort of cracked the spill and stuff. So I'm going to give it a crack and be a bit of a tosser and light it with the tube. But
there you go.
See how we go. Actually, I should cut it first.
Ready to rock. And you guys have got some bourbons there. You happy with those?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we were saying we've got a bit of knob that we'll start with, nice and early.
Very much so, mate. No, I haven't had Knob Creek in a few years actually. So, I think it was. It would have been about probably 3, maybe 4 years ago. I Knob Creek small batch. It was a retail store in the city that were getting rid of all their stock. It was like half price, so I went in and bought 3 bottles of it. And
yeah, right.
Unfortunately, as soon as I tasted it, I'm like, yeah, I can't imagine why you got rid of this for half price, boys. But it was so good that I should have kept one, but they disappeared quickly.
That's a nice drink. It always happens. Finding a way to decant into your glass quite simply. So, and to put it, guys, what's been happening today? You guys been well? Everyone keeping?
Yeah. Been pretty good. Been busy with work and stuff. Family is healthy. You know, Simon, when you're younger, you're chasing the money and you're chasing whatever. And then when you get older, as you know, you just want your health. And if your health is okay and your family's okay, the rest can be worked out. You know, I think we've all had challenges and we learn as we get older that as long as you've got your health, then that's really the main thing, you know. So yeah, from my end, everything's really good. This is great, by the way. Thank you so much.
Very welcome, mate. I hope you guys enjoy it. Something that I absolutely love going to, the Anejo series is always a really, really good, incredible stick for me. I absolutely enjoy it. And I don't know if you noticed, Mikey, on yours, I was speaking with Gillis, jumped on. I had a big dusting of crystallization. I was trying to film it on the camera, so it actually looked really, really lovely. I don't know if you saw it on towards the cap. I noticed it more.
Even on the body, I'm having a look at it now. Even on the body, it's got like it's dotted with crystals. Like it looks really good, actually.
It's crazy, absolutely.
Like minerally.
Yeah. So guys, we'll press on. I've got a couple of questions here. Obviously, we've selected our sticks. We've got our drinks ready to go. I'm going to ask Achilles first, and then Mikey, you can jump in as well. I'm going to ask these questions. They're just super easy, super chilled. Go through them and then we'll let it roll on. So tell us, how'd you boys get into cigars?
My first cigar was in 2014. My younger brother got me in. We're at my nephew's birthday and I was sort of milling up the back of the backyard and he said, come down and have a look. And I'd started to get into cognacs and things like that. And so my interest started to peak and I was, you know, Winston Churchill and all of that and asked, because I was never a cigarette smoker.
Yeah.
And he said, come down, have a go at this. And I sort of went, I don't know what, the fuck I'm doing. He goes, don't worry about it, just have a bit of fun. Draw it in like a straw, Fanta through a straw. And this is what I tell everybody who's new, Fanta through a straw. And just blow it out and have a bit of fun, And I got hooked not because of flavor. Like I didn't know what I was doing, like flavors and that. But I stopped to have a look around and there was like 6 or 8 of us just sitting there, relaxing, talking, and I really loved that, And so one after the other, and and here we are, man, smoking maybe 7 a week, 4 a week, 5 a week, 8 a week, 10 a week.
Depends how stressful.
Maybe not 10, but man, love it, you know. Even more. I mean, Mike's a machine. Mike wakes up with nick patches in his gums, you know. Like he's an absolute machine, mate. So well, that's my story anyway. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, had my first cigar on my 8th birthday. So what's that? 30 years ago. Pretty much every birthday, I'd have a cigar. You know, Christmas, New Year's, have a cigar, something to celebrate. It was always something to celebrate because they're not cheap, of course. So, stupidly enough, I was also a cigarette smoker for many years, but it wasn't until probably about 6 years ago I just got sick of wheezing and from inhaling smoke through cigarettes. But I still like I've always liked the taste and the aroma of smoke. Now, funnily enough, being a cigar smoker solely for the last 6 years, the smell of a cigarette is disgusting and the taste is even worse. I can't understand how anyone could have ever done that, particularly myself. But even like barbecuing, I love smoked meats, toying around with different things to do on the smoker. And it's, I love nothing more than the smell of an open fireplace. And, it's just a very, I guess it's a very Moorish sort of homely smell, going up into the Adelaide Hills for the Winter Reds Festival. There's, a lot of places have big fires going and you get a nice glass of red, sit around the fire, and it's awesome. So smoke, I think, and I mean in this country, you look at the Indigenous, we've got the smoking ceremonies and all that sort of stuff. I think smoke plays a big part of Australian lifestyle. So for me, it's I've been in and out of cigars for 30 odd years, but solely a cigar smoker for the last 6, and I suppose kind of collector as well to some degree. I just don't seem to hold on long enough to collect them.
That was actually going to be one of the questions I asked you. What are some of the oldest cigars you've got?
The oldest one I've got is 1965.
Oh, shit.
I think 72, 73, I was lucky enough. Haven't smoked it yet, actually. I've got it. Been lucky enough to be gifted some pretty old cigars and 2008s and things like that, but they're not anything that I've procured. I've just been lucky enough. I think we've both been lucky enough to be part of a great brotherhood where, we're always sharing and educating, and it's been really good. So we're lucky enough to try some pretty exclusive sort of cigars. Yeah,
and that's a beautiful thing. I think the last episode 8, and if I haven't said it, this is episode 9. So, we spoke about that sort of gifting of cigars, and how you hand them out, and never in the pretense that you'd want anything back, but it always is nice and when someone does give you one back, and sometimes they may just not have a cigar with them, so they just can't, but the gesture is always really nice when it's reciprocated, and it's not always weighed on by, I gave you nothing like that. And you've given me a friggin' Newell, whatever, So it's it's an amazing community, and I absolutely love it. I love the camaraderie. I love being a part of the club as well, and we'll talk more about that once we get through these questions. But yeah, it's been amazing, man. Especially through the series of like COVID and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely super appreciative that what you guys did, the effort that you guys, and I commend you and I applaud you and I thank you guys for what you guys did during those periods of making sure that you put the online rehearsals on and stuff like that, and
Look, you can sit back here and say it's been a lot of work, and it has, right? Yeah. It's not easy, like you're always on, always chatting privately, always trying to fundraise, always trying to raising money for gear and swag or events or whatever it may be, right? But it's pleasurable and it's easy because everybody appreciates it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so what we've achieved we're not like I used to say to people outside the club. I'd say, I'm going to be smoking with my cigar friends. I don't say that anymore. You know, I'm smoking with my friends. The people in the club are not my cigar friends. They're my friends. You know, they're truly my great friends. You know, and you would know, we get together all the time. You know, I know where. I'll give you an example, and then I'll hand over to Mike. But I remember it was my 50th, and it was a bit earlier on, and I thought, I'm going to have a few guys over, and I was sort of like, who's going to come, and, you know, like, might have a few people, and it sort of snowballed to 12, you know. Then the following year, I had my 51st, and Simon, I'm like, I'll get 10, 12, 13. Then the interstate has piled in. Then the young kid from Geelong piled in. Then Hossie from Geelong piled. You know, like it became a 40-person event, man. You know, like I was not sleeping worrying about where everybody was going to sit. You know, like it was so great. And everybody's got together and, you know, of course they bought gifts and you know, I was treated very special. It's great, you know. So now when you have an event, man, you better be prepared for people to roll around because there's people coming from everywhere. You know, I mean, Mike can speak about, you know, his place in Adelaide and stuff. You know, like, share that, Mike, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, we organised an event here for the guys to come and, you know, I actually arranged pretty much an entire weekend of activities where on Friday night we all went into Haynes and, you know, spent a night smoking cigars and enjoying some of the finest cocktails Adelaide's got to offer in what I think, I reckon, hands down the best cocktail and cigar lounge in South Australia. And then on Saturday, my father actually flew down from Cairns to drive the bus, so we hired a minibus.
That was fun up the hill, man. I didn't think we were going to get up that hill.
Was there 14 of us on the minibus?
Yeah, about 14 of us. There would have been 15, except one guy decided to exit, but anyway.
And I'd pre-booked a heap of venues and stuff through the Adelaide Hills, so you know we went up there for a wine tour, and another mate who from the other side of the city, so just over an hour's drive away. He had a big Yoda smoker because he does competition smoking events. So he actually brought the smoker over that morning and set it up at my place while we were away. Earlier that morning, we sort of set up the drive, like the back of the house, to receive everyone afterwards. So once the event was done, everyone came back to my place, and you know, Nathan Muir, one of our brothers over in WA, who had also come
from WA. From WA.
Absolutely.
He's a recorded pro smoker from there. So and barbecuer. He made some smoked treats for us, and then of course, yeah, the next day, Sunday, a lot of the guys went home. Whereas Achilles stayed for another day or 2 days.
Yeah, another day. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so even though we'd all been well lubricated the day before and the night before, we still sort of stump up, and I took Achilles and a few of the other guys down to McLaren Vale just to keep going through some wineries. Yeah, but it's, you know, and just to have, I mean, for my father to come up to me afterwards and say, geez, it's genuinely pleasing to see how many mates you've got and see how many people from as far away in the country as, you know, Queensland, WA, Victoria, Sydney, and they all come just to hang out and enjoy each other's company. Like, it's some good guys in this group, Mike. So,
and that's what these kinds of groups generate. You know what I mean? Like you've got solid brothers that, despite I haven't met you boys in person, and I'm super close to a few guys. You know what I mean? I speak to you guys every other day. We chat at least once a week. We're chatting to each other, if not twice a week, and then messaging and so on and so forth. So the brotherhood's definitely there. You know what I mean? It's just and it's an amazing thing. And if people want to learn more about it, guys, you can always hit the boys up on Instagram. I'm pretty sure you're on.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put all the links up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. If ever guys want to find out a little bit more about the club, I'm a part of the club, obviously, and we'll dive deeper into that, as we sort of progress through the chat. But I consider myself extremely fortunate. The boys have been there through some of my hard times with my family matters and stuff like that, and you can open up to the boys, and it just feels like you're talking to your brothers. So it is.
Simon, just like something. When my dad passed away about a year ago, and you have your family, of course, and my wife and my brother and all that, they're all there, no problem, my family and stuff. But to know that I had 40 of my best mates, right, on the end of the phone, where I could just type a message or read something, or, sometimes you're going through a hard time and the tone of the comment you've typed, and I've been like that, right? Where I've typed something and Michael messaged me back and he'll go, man, your tone is a little bit off. Are you okay? That's what it's all about. Mike, you remember that, you messaged me, you go, mate, are you all right? Yeah, so I'm just going through some things here. But, so it's that, like, I could go on, we could go on and speak. We've had guys, Hendo, for instance, who, if we can mention names, who jumps on his first herf and pours his heart out, and we went up to Sydney and got him all these beautiful gifts, and, the guy's crying.
And to see a rough, a grown, not only a grown man, a 60-year-old man, Western Sydney side, business owner. He's grown up in the school of hard knocks. To practically bring him to tears, mate. That's when you're hitting people right in the feels with this group.
Yeah, absolutely,
and that's why we're fiercely loyal of the club. Protective and loyal to the club, and that's why we only have one rule, and the rule is no dickheads.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I remember Hendo was saying when I was having my 51st. And it blew out to the numbers. I said, and I'm just a bit worried things might, a couple of guys, or he goes, if there's 2 out of 40, there'll be 38 that'll be kicking them out, man. He goes, so you got no problem,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we're just that tight. We're that good. We're very, protective and careful, and because we don't want to. What we want to do is light a cigar and smoke, man. That's all you want to do, right? And talk shit, footy tips, things,
100%, man. It's
quite a few of the blokes aren't very small either.
No, exactly right.
You got 3 big boys over 6 foot on the camera right now.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, it's really good. It's really special.
Boys, what are you thinking of this cigar? What's your?
Yeah, I like it. Look, it's early.
Yeah.
I'll ask that question. The ash.
I'll ask that.
The ash is a little bit soft.
Yeah.
But it's smooth,
Can I ask you a question, Achilles? This is directed at Achilles, because we were talking about this prior to you jumping on, Mike. The draw and the weight.
No, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
The draw to weight is very good.
The draw on a Fuente is always good.
It is, yeah.
The draw on a Fuente is always good, I think. I've not had a Fuente have a rough draw.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And what do you boys? I'll ask another question for you. What would be one of your go-to cigars right now, and why? And would you recommend it to to other brothers, to other people looking to expand their palate?
I think I could probably answer for both of us, but I'll let Achilles go first.
No, I know what you're going to say, and I'll have a little bit of a longer-winded answer. But Mike, you go, and you say what you. I know what. See, that's the other thing. We all know what we like, right? Yeah. And that's the other thing too, Simon. Right? When the guys are talking, and going back on what you were saying about gifting cigars and paying back, like that guys in the group who have got vast collections of Cubans, right?
Yeah.
And they're handing out, and we're smoking 2008s, and we're smoking hand rolls and from I don't know when, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't have that sort of collection to repay that. But what I have is a lot of Ezra Zions because I was collecting a lot of Ezra Zion cigars. So my way of repaying that is to give him the experience that he can have, which are Ezra Zions I've collected over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I put a pack together
which are not available.
Which are not available anymore, right?
They're a small run, just so people understand. They're a small run.
Correct.
They're more of a, we're going to say boutique. They're not. It's not what they do isn't a general production.
No, very much boutique.
Line that you can just click on and say, okay, yeah, I'll buy this. Once it's gone, it's gone. You're not getting that again.
It's 300.
You could have a matter of hours when Ezra drops a blend because they could have made. It could have been between 350 and 600 cigars, and that's it globally. Done.
Cool.
Once they're sold, they're gone, and they sell them in 5-packs. So some of them they're very hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
And there's only been one that I would say is one I would gladly not smoke again. Everything else is Ezra Zion, delicious. And if you can get your hands on the ballistic
which one's your
extreme,
favorite? Yeah,
the ballistic extreme by a long shot.
What is that, Mikey? Is it a full body stick? Is it creamy? Is it smoky?
Oh yeah. It's not a cigar for the faint-hearted, mate. But anyone that knows me knows that I could probably smoke back-to-back Diesel Wickeds day in day out.
I can guarantee you, if Mike's putting together a fucking bet of 10 cigars because Collingwood's going to win the flag this year, right? And he comes to his ballistic extremes. He's definitely not fucking sticking one of those in there. But they don't go anywhere. They stay in Mike's collection. No, it's all in good fun.
As soon as I had one of those, mate, they didn't get gifted. But I suppose my go-to cigars would be anything Steve Sarker. That guy is an absolute wizard at making good blends. The tricky tracker, I like a decent amount of punch. I like to feel it when I retro. And that's the ex-smoker coming out in me. But I also like to feel a cigar. So a Diesel Wicked or my all-time favourite, and it's like smoking. It's like enjoying Black Forest cake. Is the LFD Cab 5 Maduro.
You mentioned that to me on the weekend when we were having a chat. The Cab 5 Maduros. I definitely have to look into those. I haven't smoked a lot of Ezra Zion, to be honest. I really haven't. I think I may have smoked a few. Something that I'll definitely look at venturing into more. I might get some advice from you guys on which ones to sort of look at if they're available.
Look, I think just jump on as they come on. Just buy them and you'll build up a small collection and you'll start to realise, look, if there's a Lancero on there, I won't buy it. But if it's a Toro, a skinny Toro or something like that, I'll definitely get it. If it's got a jingly nice metal bit of shit hanging off it, most definitely we'll try and get those.
And that's very true. He's got a lot of bling. His sticks are very, very well presented. They're absolutely gorgeous. The way that it's not just your generic band. You're not just saying a band like that on it. It might have a pendant on there. It might have a knife on there. It might have a machine gun on there. It might have a whatever. We just all different little trinkets and bits and pieces.
But the good thing I like about Ezra is they're good cigars. They do use aged tobacco. Look, I think we'd all love to be the sommelier that's writing the cigar review on Ezra Zion because while I'm smoking one, I'll be getting hints of cream, but am I getting hints of cream that was churned by a well-bosomed 18-year-old Swedish girl? Maybe not. I'm just getting hints of cream.
What about Australian sunfruit?
The Ezra people certainly know how to advertise a cigar. And look, I've got to say, it's not all in the band. I mean, there's a line of cigars that I'm sure Achilles will touch on at some point that are LH Premium, the Nick cigars. Yeah. Just a simple white band with the word Nick on it. And they are great. And case in point, the LFD Cabinet Number 5 Maduro, no band at all. They are naked cigars. So, a band is one thing. If you look at like the El Septimo range, they've spent way too much money on presentation and banding that they really should have spent on their cigars. I've not had a good experience.
I've tried to enjoy them. I've still got a couple more.
And you're paying big money for those too, man. Like they're actually paying. I think you could probably entry level. You might be looking at $18 a stick. You know, so US is. So, you know, when you say the premium stuff, you're looking at $30-$40 a stick, and then when you fall into the realm of $30-$40, man, you're up to a wide range of really good cigars that you can compare it to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and considering the prices you pay here in Australia, where you can basically double that, you know, the difference between a really good cigar and a pretty average cigar is probably going to be, you know, $10. But when you're paying $70 to $90 a cigar in Australia, an extra $10 is nothing really. I mean, that's not really going to break the bank. And that's why a lot of the American blokes that we speak to, they say, geez, you guys always tend to smoke some pretty premium cigars. And we're sort of like, well, why not? I mean, it's only another $10 when we're spending close to $100 a stick. Why wouldn't we spend those extra dollars to have some exceptional smokes versus, say, you know, a dual state factory smoke or a quorum, which are fine cigars in their own right and priced accordingly. But in Australia, those things are like $60-$70. In the States, you drop it in $3 or $4 on those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, like I'm really enjoying VSG Spellbound, which is a double Corona, and that's Jimmy's sort of put me onto those. And you know, we all talk about Sorcerer, but the Spellbound is a pretty baller looking and smokes fantastic. It's a really good cigar, especially after a nice night. I really love the Oliva V Milanio Churchill, and I'll smoke one of those in the car if I'm going on a long trip to manage an account, because that cigar, if whoever's watching this, if you want to smoke a cigar and not think about ash, dropping in your car and stuff, the Churchill Milanio holds ash blind, man. It's when you're ready to tap it, it's when it's fantastic. But and I've said this to the guys, and that's where Michael's leading. If I was sitting on the pasture in heaven, it'd be with an endless box of LH Premium Nick Toros or a Nikos or something like that. I absolutely love them. They're high quality cigars. Nick's a friend of mine. He's a friend of me through Gary, so we do that thing together, and I absolutely love them. You know, and yeah, for me,
you answered one of the questions that I was going to ask you. So, what would be your desert island?
That's the one, 100%. Endless box. Yeah, I could smoke it all day, every day. Not want another cigar to smoke. You know, but I have that connection, that romantic connection to it. Yeah, we've had a hand in the blend, in a Vitola Junior. We named it, Gary and I. So we have that involvement with it too. But the cigars speak for themselves, stand on their own. Mike alluded to it earlier, and so I love it. For me, that's the cigar that, and I smoke one every time I'm watching the footy, because we've got Nick going around in the black and white colours, and so we're all happy, man. It's Nick everywhere, you know.
Hey, Mikey, so what would be this will be the second last question, and then we'll sort of roll on about who the Culebras are and stuff like that. We'll dive in a little bit deeper to that. But what would be your desert island cigar, bro?
It'd have to be a line ball between
these are wicked.
And probably in the order of three. Diesel Wickeds are good, but a Cab 5 Maduro is better. But I'd say an Andalusian Bull. I actually quite like the Andalusian Bull, and I have had one of them and utterly loved it. Was a Cohiba Talisman.
Oh wow!
Absolutely banger of a cigar. I mean, the likelihood someone can find or get one of those slim to none. So you know, don't go hunting. If you've got them, hold on to them, because they're going up stupidly in value.
Look,
I think one of our guys, Steph, had a box of them, and he's got, I don't know, 3 or 4 left, or maybe 6 left or something.
Yeah.
But he was the one who actually gifted me one for my birthday a few years ago, and yeah, great cigar. But I mean,
Well, I
if it's
think,
realistically things we can get, the Cab 5 or the Bull.
I think, Mike, if you were going on an island and you said, fuck, I forgot to take my cigars, going to Humidor and grab some, automatically I'd be grabbing Cab 5 Maduros because I know you'd like absolutely. Similarly, you would dive into my Humidor and grab anything LH, right? That's just.
Look, I mean, let's get real. We'd tip everything into a suitcase and just run for it.
Well, that's true too. That's true too. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey boys, so if this is going to be the last question, and this is sort of, it's it's a weird question, but it's sort of, I guess, just to throw in the theme. So, if you could smoke a cigar with any historical figure, who would it be, and what would you be smoking with them?
It'd be Winston Churchill for sure, I reckon.
That's looking slick. World War II with the Tommy gun, you can see him.
I'd get him to just repeat the line that say that that Greeks fight like heroes, but I will be saying that the heroes fought like the Greeks, or something to that effect. I just get him to keep repeating that over and over. I'd have to be Winston Churchill for sure.
Yeah, nice. And what about you, Mikey?
I mean, so not alive nor dead. I mean, doesn't matter.
No.
I would love to have a cigar with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think a lot of people call him a meathead, but I've watched a few docos about that guy. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I've watched a few docos about that guy, and I mean, for a bloke to come from a workaday family in Austria to America to learn the language to become a super famous bodybuilder, then a world class famous actor, then the governor of in politics. To hit those sorts of achievements in life, I mean, he's got to be an inspirational person to be around, and I think he'd be a bit of a laugh. So Winston Churchill would be good. But I think Winston Churchill was such a workaholic. I don't know. I think if you didn't speak politics or anything like that with him, it'd probably be a bit bland, personally.
What about would you do the Churchill challenge?
Hold the ash or?
Have you ever heard the Churchill challenge?
Nah, what's the Churchill challenge?
So he used to wake up in the morning and smoke obviously a Churchill, and he'd have a glass of whiskey, right. And then he'd have his breakfast, and then after a couple of hours he'd have another Churchill, and then have another whiskey, and then after a couple of hours, so on and so forth. Essentially throughout the day he'd be consuming like whiskey and champagne and smoking up to like 9 or 10 cigars Churchill in one day. And there's some boys.
You're describing my holidays. That's
that's true. That's true.
Would I consider doing it? Yes. Have I done it? Yes.
Daily. What are you, peasant? Who are you talking to? So I watched some boys on YouTube doing it.
Probably the worst dent I put in the humidor was I've had 13 cigars in a day. Smallest being a Toro.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, let's be honest. First thing us blokes do is fucking up out of bed. First thing we do is have a piss. You're putting 6 nick patches into your gums and then having a piss, right? That's pretty fair to say.
I tell you what, on the opposite, and if I was to put 6 nick patches in my gums, I definitely wouldn't be doing
I'd be shitting myself. That's what I'd be doing. Let's be fair. Let's be honest, mate. That's exactly what I'd be doing.
Because I'd be looking like one of those ornaments at the gear houses with spraying one way and then spraying the opposite way.
Exactly.
Hey, mate, I get up at 5. I get up at 5:30. You're right on the nick patch. I get up at 5:30, whack, straighten the lip, chuck some shoes and shorts and t-shirt on, down to the gym, do a workout, get pumping, come back, have some breakfast, have a coffee, shower, fresh nick patch in, and go to work. But on weekends,
you sent me some a while ago, like talking years ago now, man. I think you sent me some cola flavored nick patches, and I stuck one in my gum, And I, at that point, never had one before. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what the heck I was getting myself into. And I'm sitting there going, I don't feel so good, eh? I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You can see that. I'm like, ugh! I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I did. What is it? Snus? What's the stuff that cheese with? Snus? Snuff. I did that once. There's a funny video we've got in the group where I'm putting it onto my hand, and our friend Anthony counselled cheeseburger. I'm like, is that enough? And he goes, I wouldn't do that much. I go, fuck that. I'll swipe some off. Then and you're just sneezing, and so for me.
So people ask what that is. That's just ground up tobacco.
Yeah, ground up tobacco with some flavouring in it, isn't it?
You inhale it, and it gets a clean rush. So just so people are wondering what the kill.
A bit of a pep up in the morning.
Putting some stuff on his head.
And you don't snort it. You just put a tiny little bit on the end of your thumb. And when I'm saying a tiny little bit, like I mean
the head of a
like that much hash. That much hash on my thumb, right? A little bit on your thumb. I'll use a different thumb in case I snort some hash, which won't be pleasant. But you just hold your thumb under your nose and just inhale slowly, because all you're trying to do is get the little granules of tobacco that are on your thumb to coat the inside of your nostril. And effectively, as they coat the inside nostril, you're then breathing clearly, but you get a nice little nicotine hit too. So it's tell you what, if you're sick, get a bit of that stuff and stick it in your nose. Some of the menthol ones, clear your nasal passage out nicely.
We're not here giving any.
But again, not for the faint of heart, because some people react badly to nicotine. I've always been a lover of it.
We're definitely not doctors, so don't come to us for any kind of advice.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Guys, how's the bourbon treating you?
Bourbon's great.
It disappeared, mate. It wasn't enough.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I'll send you some more. Don't worry. The hardest thing is for me when I'm trying to patch into a box, I'm thinking, what do I send? What don't I send? I'm like, have they tried? And I always...
You can always overthink it.
Always try and send stuff that I hope that the other person hasn't tried. Because obviously...
And that's a whole experience. That's a whole experience.
Right? The old soul, I don't know what that is. I don't think I've tried that.
So I was saying that's the old soul there. And I was saying to Killers, so this is 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days. It was distilled on the 16th of the 1st in 2017. The barrel lot size was 9 barrels on this, American oak charred. The entry point that this went into the barrel was at 116 proof, and it came out at just over 125, so 125.4. So it came out at just over 60% or thereabouts ABV. And I'm not going to say confidently, but I'm pretty sure I'd be one of the only few people in Australia to have this bottle. So this isn't available here in Australia at all. You definitely won't find this. So
thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
I can't have you boys here as much as I'd love to have you boys here. My house is always open to you fellas.
It'll happen one day. Don't worry, man.
Well, my 40th is coming up at the end of the year, so you never know. I might have to have you boys.
Never know. Just be careful, man. You'll have people sleeping on your lawn in swags.
It's mate, it's part and parcel of this community. It's a great community. So I want to ask you boys, I know who we are, but for the greater audience, who are the Culebras? How did we form? And where can we go with it? Like, people want to learn more about it. What do they do? Who do they hit up? And
I think the origin story. No. I think you should talk about the origin story, Mike. You were sort of right at the start of the inception, and I came in after you.
There was a group we sort of initially all probably met on, and that's CAA, or Cigar Aficionados Australia. I wouldn't degrade them the group they are. I mean, it's a genuinely, it's a very easy place to get into. There's sort of no qualifications or anything to get in there. So pretty much anyone's in there. I suppose as it goes along, some people can have differing opinions, and I found another international group called the Ashole Cigar Club. Joined that, and pretty quickly the guy that started it here in Australia, the chapter, was a bloke named Peter. He was the president here. Shortly after joining, he started needing a bit more help with managing the general activities of the monitoring the server and things like that. So he asked me to be the VP. Probably a bit over a year later, he asked me to step up and be the president. And so I was. It's not, a lot of people said, "Oh, you're the president you voted in." Well, not really. It's sort of like it was an American club, so it's sort of like you're being hired to be the president. You're not elected in. You're placed by people above you. I led the charge on that club. Brought Achilles in. Brought a bunch of other guys in. We gravitated away from CAA and solely went with Asholes Australia.
And then by that time, we were great mates too, weren't we? Like, there was a lot of friendship and that. And so
the friendships just got deeper and deeper. And one thing I sort of said is that I didn't want to have a server full of just users that were there for the sake of being there. And even if you want to be a wallflower and sit back and just read what's going on, that's nice. But we wanted people to have a bit of, I suppose, ownership of being in there. So I started to say that if you wanted to be part of the club, we wanted your personal details, your name, address, things like that, so that you weren't just some random drop kick off the internet that was going to cause shit. And those details were only ever held by leaders and never given out to anyone. And they're not. I mean, it's not something we use against anyone. It's just more. It creates a bit of a trust factor. After probably a couple of years, things with Asholes sort of fell over because they wanted me to step down, and all of the guys got behind me and said, "No, you're the leader of the group." And
that was hilarious, wasn't it? Fuck,
that was an interesting time. I could talk for hours about what sort of went on there with like the international president of that club, and also we started wanting to be a bit more of a quality club, and you can see the logo behind us. I mean, the Ashole logo is a skull that looks a bit like a bikie patch, and that wasn't not that I would degrade any bikies, but it wasn't the image that we wanted to portray. So
it wasn't us. Really.
We were sort of nameless for a couple of months, and then one of our guys, Steph, has probably played, I would say, one of the largest sides of the role in helping to design and name the club. And Steph, he's a very close mate of mine here in Adelaide as well. He's if you ever see pictures of him, he's got a bit of he used to just have a shitty moustache. Now he's actually grown a bit and got a cool beard going, which is good.
He's grown up. Yeah, he's grown up.
And there's a guy who's got a big cigar collection, even bigger whiskey collection, and even bigger yet red wine collection. I swear the guy just likes buying stuff. He doesn't like smoking or drinking. But so we got this. We decided on the Culebras because the Culebras cigar is 3 cigars twined together to be effectively one product, and that's what we felt the basis of our group was trust, love of tobacco, and brotherhood. So that's the 3 pillars, isn't it, Killer? So I haven't looked at it, but
the 3 pillars.
Yeah.
And it's fundamental, man. Like you say, we're a tight-knit group, and anyone, I say, if you want to join, it's more of a vetting process. You're not going to just jump on, and you're not going to just be let straight in, because, as the boys said, we don't want no shit people in the group. When we talk about brothers, we don't say it loosely. We are a very tight-knit group. We do open up to each other. We are very personal. A lot of boys learn about each other in depth, and you can lean on each other. And it's something that I guess you just sort of open up to anyone about, really, so you want to know.
Very, very much. Guys who've lost their jobs, who don't have a resume, guys will reach out, give me your details, I'll put a resume together for you. We had a young bloke who was moving up the ranks and doing some speaking in front of people, and he was nervous. And just for him to be on and share that, we'd say, you're seeing us being in senior positions now, but we were where you are, and what you're feeling is natural. We've been through that. So we can tell you it will get better. And so bouncing off other people is very important, because you don't feel like you're on your own. Like, we've all been through it. And so we share that with the younger guys. We learn off older guys, more experienced guys. It's about everything.
Adding to what you're saying,
even problems with our kids. A lot of the guys have
absolutely.
Kids. I mean, some of the guys have had issues with their wives and things like that, and it's a place that you can come, you can speak freely. You're not going to get judged as a piece of shit unless you are one, and you're not going to last long. If get in, if you're that way inclined. But if you're a genuine, good-hearted person who just wants a boys' club, a bunch of blokes that you can reach out to, tell some jokes, shit talk about footy, shit talk about each other, as blokes do, mate. They shit talk about each other to their face. But the biggest way to know that you speak, you've got an honourable mate, is he'll call you a piece of shit to your face, but behind your back, he's got your back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for me, one of the thing I love is we're also seeing our families grow. And like, if I could use Mike as an example, he's got a beautiful daughter, Misha, and I've known her now for quite a few years, and I've seen her grow up into the young lady that she's become. She's a beautiful girl, and it melts my heart every time we're on a herd. She's always like looking into the camera. Where's Uncle Achilles? I want to say hello to Uncle. And for me, that really makes.
She said to say hello to Uncle Achilles. Hello.
Yeah, you see. So we love all that. My kids know about the club. They know all the guys. They've seen my girls go through, school and whatever, and we talk about issues or whatever.
Me personally, man, I open up about my personal issues, and
exactly.
And
the guys are listening. The guys are listening. They're not just Like when you're going through your trials with your daughter, man, like we're bleeding for you. Like I've said many times, I don't know what to do for you, Simon. All I can say is that I feel for you. You feel helpless, but the fact that we're on the other side listening.
Just the brotherhood, It's the brotherhood, like being able to open up to brothers who are like-minded, who you can speak to, and you feel comforted. You know what I mean? There's no judgment. Exactly. There's just love and brotherhood. That's a big part of why I personally love being a part of this. Obviously, for my own personal reason, from time to time, I'll drift off. But obviously that's because of my family affairs and stuff like that I've got going on. But for the most part, I haven't been on for a while, and I jumped straight back on. I don't feel that I've been out by any description. I feel like I've just straight back in, and I'm straight part of the brothers again. And the girls are like, where have you been? How's the family? And they're the sort of questions that start getting slung around. It's not like, where have you been? How come you haven't been on here? And it's not we're not kids. It's a group of formed men who want to prop each other up, want to see each other doing better in their life, and support each other in whichever way they possibly can. And that's why I absolutely love being a part of the group. And again, like I said, I thank you guys for what you guys do on a regular occurrence. And I was honestly absolutely delighted to have you boys on here tonight. And I was super excited when I asked you both a couple of weeks ago. I was just like, shit, I was so pumped.
It's a no-brainer, man. I mean,
to get you guys on here.
No, it's absolutely a no-brainer. I mean, the beauty about it is we're so close that, and I mean, I have to say, when we're hanging shit on each other, sometimes it's brutal, man. Like, if we've got you by the short and curlies, we are hammering you till you are like submitting, man. Like, like we've got our good mate Jimmy on there, and I like to give him shit, and he gives me shit, and he gives us shit back, and
Jimmy,
like we're
hello,
talking
mate.
about. Hey Jimmy.
Didn't the great
Seen big shit kicking, so
Exactly.
the great
invented everything according to Jimmy and Achilles.
I didn't say, hey, man, just make your peace with it. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, moving on. And now, like,
So his team Richmond finishes
Did they
last,
invent
right?
pizza? No. Did they invent pizza?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. But his team
I like this
finishes
story.
last,
So
right? His team finishes last, right? On the ladder, fucking Richmond, right? Anyway. And so Kev and I, big Kev, hello Kev, we plot a plan. He messages me while Jimmy's on, and private message me goes, we've got to do an Ezra Zion, you know? So Kev's gone and got some black and yellow ribbon and tied it to these fucking shitty cigars that he had, right? And I've then gone and actually literally was driving to the local shops, and I've pulled over because all these ideas about descriptions are popping into my head. So we're putting a full, like, detailed description of what the cigar tastes, but in a football parlance, you know, sort of language, you know, like, and still today even, we keep hammering him about it, you know, and he hammers us about stuff too, you know, like it's all really, really good fun, you know. And that's the beauty of it.
as a bit of a piss take, what did you call the cigars?
The wooden spoon, the Richmond wooden spoon.
Did you try with spoon to the band?
No, he couldn't get it. That was the plan. So we're gearing up for a second one this year. We're hoping there's a second edition this year, 2025. Yeah, so.
That's to run in the theme of Ezra Zion. You got a fucking a wooden spoon strapped to the cigar.
Exactly. Stuff like that.
I forgot to ask earlier. So, what's the go with the Cigar Tactical?
Cigar Tactical is something that I recommended to Mike, but he'll tell you different. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. That here would be one of the best lighters that you can get.
Dan,
It's got a good, strong single flame. Okay.
We should probably be
Great lighter.
I mean, everybody has one.
There you go. Everyone except me. Everyone except me. I've got to get myself one. I actually want to get. I've got my pistol, my CZ 9mm that I've got. The desert storm color. So, and I believe that those like that desert storm color too.
Yeah, they do. That's right.
Light brown color. So I've got to chase one up. I'll definitely. My wife's going to be asking.
So it's all of that. So it's all of that sort of stuff, you know. And I'm known for
that
in the group.
That old soul. Fucking hell, that is really good.
I seen your face. I didn't want to say anything. I seen your face when you tipped. You're like, fuck yeah.
Oh,
Hot, yeah.
damn, man.
Hot?
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
It's
It's got
oily.
such a nice flavour. Yeah.
Very on your palate. I when I first tasted it, I was a bit taken back when I initially got the bottle. I was like, "Fuck, what is that?" And I tasted it. It was extremely oily on my palate. I was like, "Fuck, I've never had that experience before." But it is actually really beautiful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I still stick by the raisin and Christmas cake and that a bit of oiliness in it. I really like it. I think that's
It's
fantastic.
oil on my nose. As soon as I smell it, it's like a.
Yeah,
It's definitely
I
really
agree.
sort of. I'm not sure what are you thinking of the pairing? How are they going together?
Oh, beautiful. Cigars and whiskey are made for each other.
It's really good. I think my cigar is well creamy now into the middle of the cigar, into the second third. So I think it's
pretty
pairing
sweet.
really well with the whiskey. It's with the bourbon. It's really good.
The ash is
How far down are you?
The ash is good. Yeah, that's. I don't know.
What's going on, bro? You kept up tonight. Usually 2 to my 1.
Yeah.
I thought
I should take my time with gifts, mate.
I was like, yeah, kept up with the Dom Perignon tonight. I've actually kept up, and there it just burst my bubble saying, "No, I've only been smoking every 5 minutes."
I mean, the other beauty about the club too is that we all smoke different things, and we all discover different things. So once we've discovered something good, bang in the chat, guys, I've tried this. This is great. You know, we have all these different channels: smoking, drinking, sports, cooking. It doesn't matter. How many channels? There's like
Well,
30 different
like the my father judge. I mean, the killer smoked one of those. He'd obviously wasn't the right time of day, wasn't in the right frame of mind, didn't enjoy it. Wrote him off, didn't bother touching one again. You know, and I got a box of them in, was really enjoying them, and I said, "Hey, I really think you need to revisit that because I think you'll be. I think you're wrong. I just think you're wrong. Don't cast your opinion on one bad cigar because it might be that you're in the bad frame of mind. You've had the wrong meal prior to, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It might just. I mean, you know, for some people, you could say it's that time of the month, but whatever the reason, don't write off a cigar because it could be a good cigar. So, but then there's some cigars like the. What's one you like? The Johnny Tobacco Nor Room 101.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that. Flat out didn't enjoy it. I've tried a couple. Not for me. You know?
Yeah.
So everyone has their own palate. I do tend to gravitate towards something with a bit more kick. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's ones that we won't touch, you know?
Absolutely. But that's the beauty of it. You know?
It's always that learning.
Usually you think German engineering is top of the shelf, mate, but there's actually a cigar called a German engineered, and it's the most horrible lump of bullshit you could ever try.
God love them, but average. Yeah. I'll be nice to say it's average.
And so if you were to make a recommendation on some of the Ezras, say like 3 sticks, if in the perfect world that someone was able to get 3 of those Ezras, what would you recommend for them to try and get their hot little hands?
Look, because of what Ezra Zion is and the way they operate, my recommendation is as soon as you see them go up for sale, grab a 5-pack. And then the next time the next one drops, grab another 5-pack. And keep doing that till you've got, 10 or 25 packs there. And, smoke one. If it doesn't hit well, leave it a month or so. Try another one. Make sure you don't have the same meal and you're not in the same mood. I would be genuinely surprised if you didn't love every single one of them, and utterly shocked if you didn't like them at all. If you don't like them at all, I don't think you like cigars, to be honest.
Yeah.
But another piece of advice I'd say is, if you're new to cigar smoking, buy those, put them aside, and wait until you're probably a year into your journey and you're really starting to understand and appreciate cigars and appreciate the different flavors, because they are for an experienced smoker, not in the sense of their strength, but their complexity. Don't waste Ezra Zions on a sort of a fresh palate that doesn't really understand cigar smoking. And I'm not being aloof or big-headed there. I'm saying do yourself the favour, because you will regret smoking them in your first year of enjoying cigars and wasting them when you do realise the complexity.
That's like in my, I think 2 years in, 1 year in, 2 years in, I had a 20th anniversary Opus X. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't get it. I certainly get it now, but I didn't understand. And there's a few like that. Like I had a La Aurora, like 1990 something once with my kid brother, right? It was good, but God, I wish I could smoke it again now, I always think a big cigar.
Sometimes just the stick just doesn't fit your palate either.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because even me personally, in times, probably within the last 6 months, just on that topic of the 20th anniversary, I actually had one of the 20th anniversary. I think is the Perfecto big stick. I enjoyed it, but and this is what we were touching on earlier on, Achilles, about bank for buck. Would I spend that sort of money buying it again? Probably not. And that one was well aged. It's probably about 5 or 6 years old. Like I'd had that for a very long time, so it rested really well. But it just and I'm as you know, I'm a massive fan of Fuente. Fuente. I absolutely love Fuente sticks, but I'll call a spade too if it's shit or I don't particularly find it fits my palate. But a lot of their other range I really do enjoy. And like what I say, it's a real big journey. Like bourbon, like wine. Like, the whole lot of, you could be. I enjoyed a beautiful tequila the other night. It was a barrel and batch release. It was I can't remember the name of it. It escapes me now, but it had been aged in bourbon barrels. I think it was actually Eagle Rare barrels that had been aged in, and they called it Turkish Delight. Mate, it was fucking phenomenal.
Right.
And if you would have asked me previously anything about tequila, there's no way in hell, man. I was like, yeah, I hate tequila. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prior to this,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal, man, because it was a tequila. It was designed for that. And I guess that's what we experience when we're trying different cigars. We really just got to experience everything. You can't just say, "Oh, I smoke this," and that's all I smoke.
I can also add, like, I like the it's known in the club. I like the H. Upman Banker, the Herman's batch. It's got the beautiful, like the normal Banker's got the green label. The Herman's batch has got that nice grey with rose pink sort of writing on it, copper writing on it. You smoke it, the ash is like stacked dimes. Absolutely love it, right? I was sitting out here one afternoon, and my lovely wife, God love her, she was sitting with me.
Oh, it smells. Oh, the smoke. Oh, this. Oh, that. You know? Starts to burn wonky. It's not drawing right. So in the end, I've just dropped it, you know, and just spoke to her and said, look,
If I'm smoking a cigar and you don't like the smoke, you're best not to sit near me. When I'm smoking, I just want to relax and smoke my cigar and enjoy it. So the mood you're in and the ambience also plays a big part in how you're enjoying your cigar. You know?
100%. Yeah.
You could have a $5 stick, man, and be around your brothers.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
It could be just a cheap, homogenized, friggin' machine-rolled cigar that just is absolutely cheap as chips. But you're sitting in an incredible environment. The vibe is perfect. The boys are just chilling and having a chat with boys and girls, whoever it may be. We don't discriminate. And that cigar is going to be one of the best cigars you've ever had because of your environment. And then you could be smoking something, a Beheki 52. You know, you've got this super high expectation that it's going to be, oh, I've just paid $500 for this one cigar. Oh man, it's going to be the best thing ever. And then you've got this expectation, your mood shit, and it just ends up not being that cigar.
Yeah, but I've smoked a Behiki, and it's a good cigar. The Cohiba Talisman shits on it. And is it 5 times better than a Siglo 6? Nah. It's not.
Or is it better, and then saying that, to be fair,
or is it better than a box of
Cab 5.
Cab 5 Maduros? Absolutely not.
I was going to say, Ezra, like it take away just because of the price point of certain things. The reason why we have price points is also because of rarity, not particularly because it's going to be so much better. You might be able to produce X amount of cigars out of that one.
It's vastly about rarity. Most cigars are between $4 and $10 to produce.
Exactly.
That ranges from any cigar. It then comes down to your costs are involved in the size of the company, the packaging, the label. I mean, if someone's dropping big money on packaging and labels and piano finished boxes, are you going to be getting a good cigar? I do your homework. There's plenty out there that aren't that good, but they're very well packaged, and there's ones out there that are very well packaged and also exceptional cigars. So, if you're new to smoking, grab as much variety as you can. Yeah. You pretty quickly, within 6 months, you'll sort of identify what sort of wrapper leaf you like and what sort of region you gravitate to. We've got some guys in the club that you put anything Nicaraguan in their hands, they love it, hands down, and they'll always love it. If it's Dominican, they're not as big on it. So, yeah.
We've done a couple of interviews with some cigar makers, and I won't name him, but titan of the industry, right? And I specifically said, a Davidoff Royal Release Solomon, how much to make just the cigar? He goes, you'd be pushing $6, he said.
Fucking hell.
Pushing
really?
$6.
And what do they retail for? Over $100.
120 US. Yeah, 150 now, probably.
You're looking at like $300 Australian, really.
But look, you get a box. It's beautiful. Like when you smoke a Davidoff Late Hour Churchill, we speak about that cigar often in our club. I've gone out with the missus. I'm in a fucking suit jacket, a white shirt. Just gone out for dinner. Come home. The guy's already on the hearth. We can talk about just grabbing a cigar and smoking. Got a club hoodie on or whatever. But I really love having a jacket on with a nice shirt. I've just come out from some nice dinner. I'll pull a Davidoff Late Hour. Right, sit there like a king. Box is good. The fucking wrapper's shiny as it's gorgeous. Feels great, man. Different feeling. That's what you're getting with those sort of cigars. You know what I mean? So you're paying for that. But would I pay $120 for a stick? Man, I'm not that affluent, and no.
It's not even being Achilles, because there is so many good sticks that you can get that fraction of that price, man. That's just you have to be agnostic and sort of. You have to be brand driven or that sort of, oh, look at me, I've got a Lamborghini, or I've got when you've got so many good other options, it's just like you're just being, I don't know, for me personally, I'm always a big backer for buck. And there's always place for premium sticks, but I just think that, when we're talking about other cigars that you can get that are really phenomenal for a fraction of the price, it just, it always catches me off.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's some really good, like I was saying earlier, Mike, my father, Flor de las Antillas, $6.50, right? You can't tell me you wouldn't be happy to pay 12 or 13, 14 bucks for that stick. How they do it at $6.50?
Yeah.
I've got no idea, right? Magnificent cigar, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's an example.
And with a couple of years age, even better.
Absolutely.
That's a cigar that only gets better. My father does some fantastic cigars, though. If you're looking at brands, for me, I love the LFD range, predominantly because most of the LFD range is stuff that makes soft smokers sick. So I like something with a bit of strength. My father, Padron, Oliva do great cigars, and they've got such a broad range, and they're available everywhere.
And their quality control is second to none, really.
Saka is the goat. I mean, Saka cigars are just fantastic. Like the Micarita, and then the Tricky Tracker, the Saka Khan, which is the Micarita Black. They're all just great cigars. The Brulee Blue, some of the lighter ones, and then lighter again, the Wagashi. Just really pleasant, delicious flavors. Like the Wagashi or the Brulee Blue, one of the best breakfast cigars you can have, short of an aged Cuban.
The beauty about now we're talking about Saka. The beauty about Steve Saka is that he's been in the industry a long, long time, right? Like early 90s or whatever it is. But even before he started his brand, every release of cigar that he has put out there was pre-planned before he even started his company. Like, he had it all mapped out. And it shows, the planning, it just shows to what a great product, and the branding is all on point, follows one thing, loves his iconography, it's just splendid, man. His stuff is good. I think he's a goat. Has to be.
Does he produce the Red Meat Lover?
Yeah, I had that. Beautiful.
Yeah, they're
I've had that multiple times in every different Vitola. Great cigar, some of the best ones I think he's made is the Stillwell Star range. It's just they are absolute bangers. That's where he's involved the head blender from Cornell and Deal, and included pipe tobacco in the cigars, and it really shows. So the flavors that you can pull from some of the pipe tobaccos out there are next level compared to cigars. To include two fantastic things: the flavors of some pipe tobacco and the ability to smoke it in a cigar. Wonderful. And the Christmas, I think it was the 2024, 2023 Christmas edition Stillwell Star. Lighter wrapper, but if you could say smoking a cigar and you would genuinely not tell the difference between enjoying some caramel cheesecake. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah, you say that.
And to sit there and smack your lips afterwards and go, how the hell does he do that? It's just tobacco. It's not flavored. It's just tobacco. And yet that's the flavors that I get when I smoke that cigar. I've got two out of the box that I've smoked that are left in the humidor. And I'm scared to burn through them because they're so delicious. But yet you just want to pick another one up straight away and keep smoking.
They're so well done where they impregnate the two together. And I guess by using such premium tobaccos on both sides of the spectrum, they both really complement each other. So it's not like you have some of these really cheap flavored cigars and they just taste cheap, they're synthetic, they taste just synthetic.
Yeah.
That's what it's down to.
And like Saka, he's at the end of the day, he's a self-professed capitalist, and good on him. Why not? But you look at the Mi Querida Blue line that he does, great cigars, and then so to make it more affordable for people who don't want to spend as much money, he released the line the Umbergon, which is the exact same blend. It's just the wrapper leaf didn't make the quality cut, so they might look a little rougher.
Yeah, well,
but it's like smoking the same cigar, and almost half the price.
Even
it's
what about I've smoked cigars where I remember the first time I've experienced it, and I think it might have been a Henry Clay Warhawk, where I was getting like candied like citrus fruit, and I'm
like, where's the citrus coming out of fucking tobacco? Like it just, if I get citrus in a cigar, man, I'm in heaven. That is the one flavor I'm always chasing.
I get it pretty rare, but it just blows my mind how you can get, and that's what people outside of cigar smoking don't understand, but they also don't understand all of this, like what all of this is about. You mentioned smoking cigars, and it's sort of almost a sneer, like I try and share it. I've shared my experience with countless people. It's probably only two outside of the club who actually enjoy what it's all about. I was talking to my mechanic once and telling him about it, and I said, through COVID, we got together and we're doing all these Zoom herfs and keeping in contact. And he got it because his group of mechanics, the franchise he's a part of, they did the same thing. All the guys who owned the businesses was Zooming constantly to keep in contact and just talk and, just keep in contact and stuff. And he understood it and he applauded it, but it's rare. It's hard for people to understand what this is all about. Like, even when I had my big herfy on my 51st, the guys are coming up to me and thanking me for putting it on. But I said to them, no, you don't I appreciate that. We all do when we're putting on the hearse. We appreciate the appreciation you're giving us, but we need it just as much as you do. They might, guys in the club might look at Mikey and me and a couple of the other leaders and say, guys, you're doing a great job, but we're doing it because we need it too. We're hanging for it. Like a Friday night or a Saturday, we're hanging for this. We want to connect and smoke and talk shit and hang shit on each other and piss someone off on purpose, or just fuck around, or it's
exploring different angles of everything. You're really just exploring and
absolutely
something that completely new to you guys, and it's only through that difference of brotherhood and through the broad spectrum of different people, man. We've got Sam over in NZ. He makes knives and he works on offshore the weird stuff, man.
Like Sam came from New Zealand to Hendo's Herf in Sydney and made a knife for him out of the wood off a ship, off a boat. Some special meaning, and Hendo knew all of that because he loves that stuff. But just the effort that he went to, and to fly over from New Zealand to Sydney,
it's phenomenal.
That's crazy, man. I mean, it just shows how close we are, And that's why, like I said, one rule: don't be a fuckwit, because you're not going to last. And that's the other thing. You want to be a part of it? If you want to be a part of it, jump on a herf. That's what I always say. And most of the times, guys go, no. right?
Yeah.
Jump on a herf. Let's see who you are. You might not like us.
Yeah.
We might not fit with you. But jump on and see how you like it. We've had a couple of guys, they jump on a couple of times, see you later. That's okay. Might not be for you, man. You know, like.
But I put it to you this way: if you don't think you would be able to enjoy yourself jumping onto a herf, it means that you wouldn't be able to walk into any bar in Australia and have a beer and strike up a conversation.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
There's not a lot of decent blokes in this country that aren't capable of walking into a bar, striking up a chat with other blokes, having a beer and just having a chat. You
My
know?
wife looked at me, she's like, how the hell do you just walk into a room of people you don't fucking know and just spark up conversations
Yeah,
like
my
you've
wife's
known
just the same. Yeah.
20 years? And I'm like, that's just the way I am. And sometimes people embrace that and you'll bond even tighter to them. And that's why I think our group is so tight, because we're all very much alike. And there's no direct guidelines, but if you don't fit that mold, you won't feel comfortable being a part of the group, because we
correct.
are similar in the way that we are. We all show each other utmost respect. We all treat each other. We all greet each other. Like it's all these sorts of things that if you don't fit that,
But
mold,
we're not. We are all vastly cut from a different cloth. I mean, we've got a bloke's bloke pig farmer from country Victoria. We've got guys that are at the top of their game in corporate in the insurance world. We've got guys that have worked on security, bloody clearance, naval ships. We've got people that from all walks, people that from the mining industry, guys that work in transport, guys that own companies, some guys that are worth millions of dollars, some guys that struggle to put food on the table every day. Everyone's got a commonality through love of the leaf, and if you've got a love of cigars, there's a place for you if you're needing to reach out and chat. It's just dial in, have a chat, sit back and listen. There's some guys that dial in and sit there and just listen all the time. We've got one of the guys in Victoria. He works as a prison guard. He tends to dial in and just have a chat. Every now and then he'll pipe up and talk. If you start talking beer brewing and things like that, you struggle to shut him up. Some people have a specific topic that will set them off. Others can talk about anything. But also we've had ones where we've been on a VHERF before, or on video chat, and there'll be probably 8 or 10 of us on the chat. And one guy is talking about his childhood and how he had a rough childhood and his dad didn't do right by him, and it was really personal for him, and he ends up in tears, and we all it's uncomfortable, but we're all there for him. We'll listen, and it lets them get it off their chest. If you're thinking of spending $300 or $400 on a week on therapy, buy some decent cigars, grab a nice bottle of whiskey, and join us.
Well, wasn't Hendo saying? Sorry, Simon.
No, I was just going to say, I'm a massive advocate for men's health and men's mental health, and that's why a lot of guys don't open up. And when you're in a one or two of these herfs, you see that, man. Like I said, we're all 6 foot plus. We're all big boys, and you see big boys opening up. You have a lot of these guys hang on a sec. Look how these guys are opening up. You're among brothers here. You're among true, unjudgmental people who are just going to want the best for you. There's no ulterior motive. They're not there trying to, think, oh, what can I get out of this guy? If you're that way inclined, the crew, the boys will nut that out, and you won't feel welcome at all. If you've got some kind of if you're coming in with your heart and your sleeve, and you've just got a big heart and you just want to be a part of a genuine group of guys who really care about their mental, the men's mental health, then, you'll fit in this, hand in a glove. And that I wholeheartedly say and massively believe that.
We have, like Hendo won't mind me saying this, 60, successful businessman, like all of us, we have our trials and tribulations. His health was going pretty bad. Blood pressures and all this sort of shit, Goes and gets tested. The doctor goes, your blood pressure's down, you're doing great. what have you done different? He goes, I joined the cigar club. Keep doing it. Doctor goes, keep doing it. You know, like it's
5 cigars. There you go.
yeah, you know, like it. And you tell people that, and they go, "Oh no, cigar smoking raises your heart rate." But no, it relaxes you. Like I say to my doctor,
No, it doesn't.
I go to my doctor. There's your physical health and there's your mental health, man. You know, and I need this for my mental health. And he goes, keep doing it. He goes, how many smokes cigar? Told him. He goes, not worried about that. He goes, just keep doing it. He goes, if you feel good, man, just keep going.
It's so funny because one of the boys in the previous episodes, shout out to Manu. He's a legend. He's a doctor up in Queensland, up in Brizzy, and he's there saying, like, he goes, "Oh, I shouldn't be saying this." He goes, "But I advocate cigar smoking." You know?
Absolutely.
God bless him for saying
Well,
it.
you don't inhale the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone's gonna bang on about how bad cigar smoking is, what is the comedian George Burns, 96 when he was 96 years of age, is being interviewed, and the interviewer said, "What does your doctor think?" "My doctor's dead."
Yeah, exactly.
And how many?
Well, he outlived his doctor.
He would smoke.
He smoked about 20 cigars a day.
Yeah, so it's incredible, man. But boys, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time away from your families, especially in this crazy life that we live. We're always super flat out and super busy, and you could be doing other things. So I really do appreciate you boys coming on and opening up to me, opening up to the wider community about who we are as a group, as a crew. About the fundamentals of the Brotherhood, of the Cigar Club, and I really do appreciate you guys jumping on with me and taking the time out. So,
absolute pleasure, man. Anytime. Thanks for being a member of our club, man.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to doing it again sometime.
Absolutely, boys. Listen, I'm gonna have to pull the pin. We're at as funny as it is, because once you start talking, you don't realize how quick we're at a minute and 25. An hour and 25 minutes. So I might have to call it a night for us there. We can reconvene off the air.
Yeah, that's fine.
A couple more sticks to go through yet, I think. Because we'll get try something to go. We might tuck into that. What's going to be our number 2 stick tonight, Mikey?
Hey?
Our number 2 stick for tonight?
CLE. Let's do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I haven't done it.
Boys, again, I just want to say thank you so much, guys. This is the head of the Culebras crew. Again, I want to say thank you. Thanks so much for joining me, boys. Just want to say anything before we close off for tonight?
No, just if you want to be a part of a great club and you're a great guy and all you want to do is smoke cigars and hook up with some great blokes and be a part of a greater community, by all means, reach out.
Yeah,
I think that says everything. Right behind me, man.
Boys, thank you so much.
That's how much I love this club. I've got a massive banner in my cigar lounge out the back of my house.
And he's got the same one in his bathroom and above his bed. And
motivation.
it's in his blood and it's apparent. So, boys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed this episode number 9, guys. If you have enjoyed this, follow, subscribe, all that shit. It helps the YouTube channel. I'm only in my infant stages of the channel, so I appreciate if anyone can like, comment, share, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure the boys would love to hear from you down in the comments as well. Boys, on Simon Cigars and Spirit, we've got Achilles to my left. I hope that's right, and Mikey on my right, and we're going to tune out here. Hope you all have a lovely night. Thank you all so much for your time. Thanks for following us, and look forward to the next episode. Boys,
cheers.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.